Hey, what is up, podcast listeners? You sweet, sweet mukuleles, you mukakis, you League of Extraordinary Brentlemen. How are you doing today? Today is episode number 40? Holy shit. Episode number 40. If I'm wrong, then I guess I'm going to look it up right now just so I'm not wrong. I don't want to be an asshole. But no, yeah. Episode number 40. Made it to the big 4-0. Is that a hallmark number in any way? I don't know, but it is to me. It's wonderful. How are you all? How do you do? I hope you're doing well. I am just coming back from a keynote speaking class led by the incomparable Amy Ayoub. If you're in Las Vegas and you want to get into keynote speaking, she is the master. She's the Jedi master, sensei, Yoda, whatever it is that you want to call her. But I learned a ton. This was the fourth of a 4-week series, or four session series, spread out over 4 months. So once a month we got together to really just kind of get into it. The structure of the class is very interesting. She very graciously let me hop into her advanced class. She knew what I was capable of, that I wouldn't need any basics on addressing an audience, things like that. So, yeah, it's... Man, am I sad that the class is over. Got to meet some real cool fucking people. Just some real cool people. Like 3 police officers were in the class. Got to hear some very interesting stories, speeches about that. Got to listen to an Olympic gold medal winner in motocross, which, you know, I feel like there's a stigma to motocross, and I am not blind. Like, I was not immune to that stigma of just like, because it's such a new sport too. Like, it got introduced as an Olympic sport, I believe, in my lifetime. Let's look it up, shall we? Olympic motocross. When did motocross, you can learn on this episode, become an Olympic sport? I believe in my lifetime. Let's see. Oh, shit. The first stadium motocross event took place in 1972 in the Los Angeles Coliseum. In 1975, the first stadium motocross event. What does that mean? Could freestyle motocross in the Olympics. When did motocross? Yeah. Wow. I guess in the 70s. But by 1980s, American riders had caught up. World Championship was introduced. European riders continued to dominate motocross throughout the 1970s, but by the 1980s, American riders had caught up and began winning international competitions. Motocross. Major competitions. Motorcycle trials. Wait, hold on. It's saying that it was European Championship, but when did it become an Olympic sport? In 1972. An Olympic sport. Motocross in Olympics. People... BMX. I don't know if that... Wait, hold on. I don't know if that answered the question or not. Let's see. When did... Maybe it's not motocross. Maybe it's BMX. When did BMX... Maybe I'm saying it incorrectly. Maybe I'm using the wrong... Yeah, there we go. There we go. The sport made its Olympic debut at the 2008 Beijing Games. There you go. 2008. I wasn't wrong. It's just motocross started way longer before I thought. Apparently, in 1924, it was recognized as an actual sport. So, that's, I didn't even know they had motorcycles back then. That's so weird. What a weird time to be living. 1924? Like, if you're an old person, right, in 1924, then you were alive, like, when horses were, like, the shit. Where it's like, you were around for, like, the invention of the car. I believe, which, let me make sure that that's correct. When was first car made? Oh, how did they know? When was first? 1885, yeah. 1924, 1885. Like, if you're 60 years old, then you were born before the car. That's fucking nuts. And I didn't know this, but if we had to give credit to one inventor, it would probably be Carl Benz from Germany. I wonder if that's what Mercedes-Benz comes from. Probably. I bet you didn't know that it would be so much education today. I'm on this big educational kick of, like, if I don't know something, why the fuck shouldn't I just look it up? I have a computer. I have access to all information. Unlimited information at my fingertips. And yet I choose to be ignorant. Like, if you don't know something and you, like, look it up. Just look it up. I'm learning how to do that. I didn't always know that was, like, the way to do it. I just was like, oh, I don't know, and maybe it's fun not to know. But now I'm like, no, the fuck? I'll just know. Maybe one day I'll be good at Jeopardy. Who knows? 2008. So this dude won in 2016, I believe. So 2 years ago, he won the. He won. He's a young dude. I mean, he's 3 years younger. He's like 26 or something. And got to meet him. His whole speech is about winning and also how, setting your goals and all of it, basic, not basic, but the standard fodder for a TED Talk or a keynote speech. What I did is I went in and talked about communication and the breakdowns of communication, how we communicate, tools we can use to communicate better. And it's just, I don't know. It was just a great class. It was eye-opening because I'm so used to improv at this point where I'm like, okay, yeah, I can just go out and do my shit. I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to say. And I have confidence in that. And part of me is like, that's still an important trait. That's still important, but I learned a lot of great tips, a lot of great skills, a lot of great, just great shit. Just standard stuff. Like, don't start with pleasantries is the biggest one. Like, starting with, hello, how's everybody doing? How are you? Like, all of that shit. And you might be wondering, well, then if I am not supposed to do that, then why do I start every podcast with that? It's because this isn't a fucking keynote speech. Like, I'm not coming here, I'm not doing this podcast to be as polished as possible. There's a part of it that's the appeal of the podcast is that it's unpolished. I think that if I wrote down everything I was going to say, 1, it would drive me fucking nuts. 2, it would be unsustainable for myself. And 3, I don't have a 3. But that's part of the unpolishedness of it. Don't you love that? There doesn't always have to be 3 things. Why did I feel a pressure? Why did I just assumed I'd come up with a 3rd thing. I do that sometimes where I'll talk and I'll just start going and let the chips fall where they will. So, did that class today. Last night was opening. Last night was opening for Accidental Death of an Anarchist, and we got a standing ovation. It was a lot of fucking fun. We got laughs. It was just a kick-ass fucking show. And I've never done a play before, so after it was done, I had to go to my buddy, one of the other guys in the cast, and I was like, hey man, this is my first one. Like, what am I supposed to do right now? Like, what do we... He was like, well, it's the opening night, so we're going to go over to the bar. I heard that there's food over there, that they just got food for us, and, grab a drink, and this is what he said. His name's Christopher Brown. I'm going to have him on the podcast as soon as all the craziness is over, but he was like a lot of people are going to say, good job. And it's not your job. This is an advanced tactic. It's not your job to know whether or not they mean it. You just say, thank you. And then you're on your way. So, advanced tips. He's a phenomenal actor. If you're in Vegas, come check out the show. It's a really, really fun show. It's really powerful. And dude, like the amount of work that got put into this play, just you can feel it as you're watching the play. And I think that people recognize it, and I think people understand and see it, and it's tough to have a barometer to it, right? Because this is the first one I've been a part of, but just our director was, oh man, she, like, from a teaching standpoint, from a teacher's standpoint, I was just watching the way that she took command and just zened all of it, and was like, you know, going with the flow and rearranging things as they were happening. And it's not easy. It's not easy to do that shit. So that wasn't lost on me. And she had some very kind words for me. She gave me a bath bomb as a happy opening night gift. And I was like, oh my God, I've never had a bath bomb. So I've never done an opening night. I've never received a bath bomb, let alone used one. So tonight will be a good night for it. I think I'm gonna take a bath and just have my bath bomb and see what the bath bomb's all about. What the hell's the special thing about it? Who knows? Is it just like a bubble bath? Is that what it is? It just looks like a giant ball of powder. It looks like a tennis ball made out of powder that's been condensed very tightly. So I'm very interested to see what this does to my fucking bathtub. It just explodes. It's like a joke. It's like the not even just like a joke bath, like this one is a joke one. It's like it's a joke in general. Like people have they invented it and didn't tell people that it actually just explodes inside your bathtub, and as a joke, and people just keep fucking with other people saying, "Hey, you got your bath bomb as a present," and they're just laughing on the inside hysterically, trying to keep a straight face, knowing that their friend is going to be freaked out by this fucking explosion happening in the place where they're most vulnerable and most naked and most lying down in warm water. Bathtub. I don't know why I had to say bathtub. You all knew what I was talking about. I'm a little delirious right now. I did not sleep well last night. And that's a lot. It's all completely my fault. Like I got home right later than I wanted to, and it was like midnight by the time I got home. So it was midnight. I ate a little bit of food. I did my shit, you know. Yeah. So I got home. And then I was like, I would really like to unwind, and so I played more Stardew Valley, this game that's very equivalent to Harvest Moon. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about and aren't into video games, there's no good way for me to explain it without me sounding like an asshole. But it's basically like it's a farming simulator where you are this guy and you're living this life, right? And so you go and you get a farm, and then you start making crops, and then having animals, and then it's not Farmville. Farmville, to my understanding, it's just farm-based stuff. So you're a new person to this town, and there's a relationship building aspect to it that somebody called a dating sim, but it's not a dating sim. Like you have relationships with everybody in town, be them men or women, and some of them are married, and so you're gonna befriend some of these people, and there's like fishing and, you know, like all of these things you can build. There's an action, like go down the mines and fight these monsters type aspect to it too. So it's just like a lot of great games combined into one. And I explained that to my friend Jacob, and he was like, I kind of hate you for the fact that you just explained that game and you're addicted to it. And I get it. It is a sort of embarrassing game. And what I told him, what I realized by talking to him, was that it's not like the game. The game itself is fine. It's great. Cool. This is a fun game. But what it really is it harkens back, and it's based on Harvest Moon, which is a game that I played as a kid on the Super Nintendo, and it was amazing to me at that time. I think I was like 7 or 8, and at a time when most You know, boys are playing action, adventure, shoot 'em up fucking games where you're playing Contra and shit, you know, or Super Mario in some, you know, like platformers. This game just was like this RPG, and it was really my introduction to RPGs, I think, as well. It was just a role-playing game where you role-played as a farmer, but it just had enough interesting things going on and happening that, like, it was incredible to play, and there were secrets and like all of these cool things, and so, and like in one playthrough you were not able to achieve everything that you wanted to achieve. So by the end of the game, it takes it by days, and then there's like 4 seasons. It's like 1 month per season, so each day is like 15-20 minutes or something, and then you go through and there's all of these options. So you can make your money by farming, you can make your money by fishing, you can make your money by having these animals and creating eggs and milk and all that shit. And then so it gave you options. It's really like an entrepreneurial type game, because the goal is to, you know, amass as much fortune as you can, marry somebody, get a dog, and fucking, you know, have kids and just all of that stuff. And what I appreciated about it when I was a kid, I guess, when I think about it, because I've been thinking about why was I drawn to this game? It just felt like it was some semblance of control, you know, like it was like, okay, well, I can build this, and I played the shit out of that game. Like, I played probably 3 run-throughs of it. Like, that's how into it I was, because each run-through was different. Because one, I'm increasing my ability to make money, so I'm learning what to do, when to do it, and how to do it more efficiently, be a better farmer. On top of each playthrough, I could like go marry a different woman, so it was like, oh, cool, like there's a different whole feel to this in this regard. So and this game was not like an indie game by any stretch of the imagination. It had several reincarnations, and so Stardew Valley came along, and it's, for me, I don't think that if I hadn't played it as a kid, I think that I would be bored as shit of it right now. But it just harkens back to this time, and the mechanics are so similar, and it's fun. It's fun. You know, why judge it? Why am I judging myself? Fuck you. It's fun. It's a good game. Don't get into it, because it'll take away your time. I ended up playing that game for a few hours afterwards. I got to bed probably about 4 or 5, I think, and I had to wake up and do the class at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I woke up like 7:45 and ran over to the voice actor studio, because that's where the keynote speaking classes take place. Luckily, it's 5 minutes from my home, so that is a humongous plus. But man, I just, yeah. And then today was our last day, and I woke up and I was so fucking tired, and I was just like, fuck, I should just call out. But I was like, no, you can't do that. And you know that you're going to enjoy the class, and when you get there, it's all going to pick up and things are going to be going. So, and I was right. It did, and it was. So it's just been a good couple days. I mean, the preview show on Wednesday night when I left you, I mean, that went really fucking well. I'm super happy about that. What's coming up? I mean, one of the guys in the class, the gold Olympic medal winner, has been taking those classes for like 2 years, and now he's getting work, and he's like going out and doing keynote speeches, and he's speaking this coming Tuesday at like some corporate event, and he invited me. So I said, fuck yeah, can I come? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. So just all kinds of great shit. Like and he's just such a cool dude. He's just such a nice, wholesome guy. All the people in the class, the whole culture of the class was cultivated well, and that's Amy's doing. Like, you get what you attract, right? That's the law of attraction and The Secret and all that stuff. And there's something about her that she just attracts very fun, very kind people. And me working with her has been like one of the best experiences, because she's somebody that is so completely opposite of the way that I operate and do things. Like, so completely out. She's very by the book and to the point and boom, 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 right? And I'm just like, I don't know, let's figure it out. And just, you know, I'm constantly just figuring out each thing and being so present that sometimes I'm not thinking so hard into the future, right? So it's been interesting. It's been so interesting, and I've learned a lot. Like, not only taking the class, but learned a lot from just watching the way she teaches and the way she is. Like, our intention, our guidance, like our love of teaching and our love of actually doing the thing, I think shows, and it is very, very prevalent. And you can't separate us from our joy of teaching. And I think that we're kindred spirits in that regard. And but with such opposite ways of going about doing things, it's always just so fascinating to me, and it's always fun to just watch and do it, and I can't I mean, honestly, I'm just so grateful. This is a gratitude moment. # gratitude attitude, you know. I like, for her to see the value of what I do is just so refreshing, and she's so humble, and so I can't say enough good things. The Zen speaker, look her up, Amy Ayub, the Zen speaker. If you're interested in getting to the keynote speaking categories, like, dude, she's the shit. She is for real. Like, she is the motherfucking truth. So that's what's going on for the next few days. Tomorrow I'm teaching over at the Voice Actor Studio, doing a class, which I love. I'm so happy. I could be on 1 hour of sleep and still knock out 3 hours of that, because I love it so fucking much. Like, for real. I can't stand it, how much I love it. And I'm figuring out slowly the things that I love and the things that I don't love. Like, for example, doing this play has been so fun. And getting there and doing it and all of this, like, it's so fucking fun and good. However, I don't think that it's me. I don't think, like, I'm not, like, it was cool, but just with the way things are, there are other things that are just more fun to me. So I'm going to follow what I believe is fun, and the things that vibe with the way that I do things. Film, I think, is a little more up my alley. There's more improvisation, I think, because it's on the day of, and, you know, once it's done, unless you have reshoots, but then once those reshoots are done, it's done, unless you have reshoots on the reshoots, but then that's a whole nother can of worms. Like, that's not anything to do with your acting. If you're doing a third version of reshoots, like, that's like somebody completely fucked up and dropped the ball on the technical side, if that's happening. But, dude, so it's yeah, like, I never like to say that this is like the last time, but if this is the last time, I will say this. If this was the last play I ever did, I am so happy and so glad that I got to do it with the people that I'm doing it with, and with the director that we had and the crew around us. Like, our director was, God, she was just, I have the utmost respect for that woman. She was a phenomenal captain, and I got to the point where I respected her so much and kept talking about it to her. Like, I just kept saying it to a point where I think that maybe it might have been misinterpreted. You know, like when you really like somebody, or you really are a fan of somebody, and then you like over talk it to a point where it might seem like you're just saying it and you're full of shit. Like, I think I got to that point. But the only reason why I got to that point was because of how fucking incredible of an experience this has been. And she didn't know that it was my first play. So when I told her last night, because I'd said I'd never done anything like this when we started, and I think she thought that I meant, like, I'd never done a play like this, but I've never done a play. So, like, out of high school. There's no diss on you know, my high school drama program that started me into this whole fucking journey, right? That if I hadn't gone to high school theater, I don't know that I would be doing anything that I'm doing right now. Or if I am doing it, I wouldn't be as good as I am right now, because I realized that it was what I wanted to do was act. But yeah, like in terms of like a play, you know, like we're out in the world and this is I'm getting paid and this is a play and this is like a whole thing. Like, yeah, this is the first one. So, man, I'm in a good spot, and the play's going for another 2.5 weeks. Already last night I had one of those moments too where it was like, and I've heard of this sensation, and I felt it in a smaller form on film, but you get to the point where you've done the play and you've rehearsed it so much that then you start finding little intricacies of the moment to moment. And I think I've talked about it. I have almost no lines in this play. So much of what I do is physical, and I have evolved as a physical actor. So because of it, like I've learned a bunch and just had to listen and become like so good at being a listening, reactive listener in the play that, dude, like I've gotten so much more than just the paycheck that I'm going to get paid at the end of this play. Like, and which was the biggest reason why I took on the role, was because I wouldn't have to learn as many lines, so I could still do all my other shit and not have to worry, you know, about a cumbersome amount of lines. But also, I wanted to, it would help serve me in learning about physicality and how much that affects the way that you act and how to be an effective physical actor. And I don't think I'm perfect, but I'm better. I'm much better than I was when I started, and that's good. That's just good for me. Like I can't stress how grateful I am to have this, and that everything worked out the way that I had kind of wanted it to. It's funny. Somebody in the class said that in our speaking class this morning was talking about the power of visualization and how you visualize things and will them into reality, right? So you visualize first, and I had been considering doing a play and been thinking about it and asking around about it and just kind of talked about it in general, and then boom, like it just fucking happened. Like I got contacted out of the blue to be a part of this play that would have a short rehearsal time, which works perfectly for me, and also would just because of the nature of, you know, the business that I've started and all of the shit that I do, it was flexible also, and like it just happened. And I was like, I don't think I could take a play for free, but when will I ever just get a chance to be in a play where they're just gonna pay me, you know? And I'm not plugged in, so I guess I'll have to go. I didn't have to audition. I didn't have to do any of that shit. It just happened. Like 2 weeks after I had asked a friend of mine who's big into the acting community here, like what should I do? Like, where should I go? What do you think? Like we had a conversation, and then boom, I got offered a role. I didn't even audition. So yeah. Also, really interesting thing was the director told me last night that that I had the lead of the play suggested me, which was cool. I've known him from a few gigs, which was and they were really cool. And like she told me that she watched one of my videos on YouTube, and she didn't say which one, but she said, I saw like the listening that you do, and I something about your generosity as a performer I saw in the video, and your listening ability, and like it was just high praise coming from someone who's been in the business for so long. And she just, yeah, she gave me enough praise for a year's worth of praise. She gave me a year's worth of praise. The original point I was making was that it was because she watched something of mine on the internet. So people, in private conversation, people ask me, like, why are you doing a podcast? Like, what is the point? Like, you're just wasting time. There's like, what is it? And I don't know for sure what she watched, but the most recent things on any of my YouTube across any of my shit has just been this podcast. So I can't imagine that there's anything else other than maybe just some other content. But she said she watched some YouTube videos, and it had to be just the way that I was on a podcast with another person. I'm pretty sure it was. So, like, I don't know, and that got me the role. That got me a paid role and got me everything that I wanted. So, like, I don't know. Like, people that I work with are always like, well, what do why social media, and do I have to? And it's like, no, you don't have to, but you also don't have to do anything else that will help benefit your job and your work and your freelance abilities. And so, man, like, I don't know. I just feel good. I feel good. Another show tonight. We got another 4 hours before the show. I think I'm gonna take a nap. Maybe I'm fucking tired. I got maybe 3 hours sleep tops. And I'll post this up, do all this stuff. I have a bunch of emails and stuff I got to respond to in the 4 or 5 hours that I was in class. Just that alone was like, fuck, shit started stacking up. So, oh man, but things are good. Things are real good. Let's go to some Twitter news, shall we? Let's go to some Twitter moments, is what they're calling it. Let's see. DMX released from prison. The 48-year-old rapper was released from federal prison on Friday after serving a 1-year sentence for tax evasion. Oh my God. I guess X hasn't been giving it to us. Oh man, X gonna give it to you. Unless you're the IRS, then he X, you know what X ain't gonna give to you? Fucking taxes. I didn't even know he was in jail. And I'm joking now, because now he's out. Perfect. They used, like, the dumbest picture they could. It's just him making a face where he's biting his lower lip and putting an X with a microphone. He has his arms crossed in an X, and he's holding a microphone. You couldn't have found a better picture. I guess it looks symbolically like maybe he was, like, he's handcuffed or something, but he's not. He's just doing his X gonna give it to you. You could have used a better picture, Twitter. That's my thought. God, his fiance is hot. Desiree Lindstrom. Here's the first picture of DMX post-prison with his son and his fiance. Whew, she is gorgeous. I did not know that DMX was 48 years old. That's fucking incredible to me. He looks like he could maybe be 30. That's fucking nuts. I mean, he's got some white in his beard, so I guess, yeah, I'd think that. But if he's shaved, man, like, just looks young. Even after prison. Like, they say prison ages you. That just means that he looks 33 now instead of 25. All right. Well, let's see. Evacuation of crocodiles near Statue of Unity faces backlash. The Indian Express is reporting that forest officials in India's Gujarat have begun evacuating crocodiles from 2 ponds on the Sardar Sarovar Dam. Promises to make way for a seaplane service for tourists visiting the world's tallest statue. Let's see what the Indian Express is saying. Gujarat, which, by the way, when I heard Indian Express, the first thing I was going to say was like, that's a little racist unless they're talking about actual Indian people. And they are. They're talking about actual Indian people from India. So, boom. Has started evacuating crocodiles from 2 ponds on the Sardar Sarovar Dam. Okay. About 15 of the 485 crocodiles that inhabit the 2 pounds of Sardar Sovar have been evacuated. Oh my god. Mugger crocodiles are categorized as endangered species. Oh, okay. I'm still trying to figure out, like, what the fuck is actually going on. What's with this statue? What's with these crocodiles? 15 out, 485 more to go. Crocodiles removed for seaplane to Unity statue. There's no deadline. Amid confusion over where the reptiles would be released, started evacuating crocodiles from 2 ponds on the Sardar. Yep. To make way for a seaplane service planned to promote tourism at the Statue of Unity. Until last Tuesday, 15 crocodiles had been evacuated. A multi-level committee comprising officials of Civil Aviation Department in Gujarat. I don't know. It's hard for me to say anything without sounding racist here. We're rescuing crocodiles from the ponds 3 and 4, which are close to the site. We've put 10 teams of officials. So, okay, so they're building a seaplane here in this place near where in these 2 places by this dam. It sounds like so they're building a seaplane to attract people to the dam and get people to the dam, and they're just like, all you crocodiles, get the fuck out of here. But we can't just kill you all because you're endangered species. So we're just going to move you over to fucking somewhere else. That doesn't sound like that's going to help out these endangered crocodiles. You know what? These crocodiles are nearly all dead. There's only like 500 left, so I think it would be smart if we take them from the home that they've been in for this long, and let's just like move them to another place so that they have no fucking idea what's going on. Like that's a better alternative. Like a lot of these crocodiles are gonna fucking die, I bet. Why are they endangered, I wonder? The mugger crocodiles. What the fuck are mugger crocodiles? Crocodilius palustrius, a crocodile species that is being removed from the Narmada. Like, what the fuck has, like, who, like, this is an endangered species, for God's sake, and they're just like, fuck them, we're building a seaplane, and in an effort to not just completely say fuck these crocodiles and to basically to avoid lawsuits, they're just saying we're just going to move them. We're just going to take them from the home that these almost extinct crocodiles have been in and just move them someplace. Like, that sounds fucking shitty to me. That sounds like the shittiest thing you could do. Well, not the shittiest. The shittiest is the shittiest thing you could make them do is watch the Aquaman movie. Shazam! Aquaman. Bada boom. Take that, whoever directed Aquaman. I haven't even seen it. I'm just talking shit. I like Jason Momoa. I hope it does well. More Asian superheroes. That's what we need. More of these sexy Asian men. So then one day I can play my dream role. Robin. Can you imagine? like a 30-something-year-old man playing Robin? 30-something-year-old Asian man? Gee willikers, but I'm doing it like the 1960s Batman. I'm just holy rusted metal Batman. And I'm in like a suit that is like made to fit a 16-year-old boy's physique, but I've somehow just infiltrated the entire bodysuit. And I'm like, I'm here for the Robin auditions. And everybody's like, oh my god, get this guy out of here. But the director like took too many medications that day, and he's like, this guy's brilliant. Sign him immediately. Give him the contract. That's irreversible. the classic irreversible contract with no clauses inside. And then I say, oh, okay. And now they're stuck with me, and they have to somehow make a salvageable Batman movie. And Batman's only like 25. And I'm older than Batman, but I'm playing a 16-year-old. That sounds really fucking funny to me. That sounds really, really fucking funny. All right, let's see. Let's do one more here. Oh, okay. Let's do some video game news. Nintendo is scrapping Metroid Prime 4 and starting again. The game's giant released a video on Friday announcing that the current version of the much-anticipated sequel did not meet their expectations. The game will now be redeveloped with Retro, the studio behind the original Metroid trilogy. It is now unlikely to be released before 2022. Jesus. Wow. Shinya Takahashi, Senior Managing Executive Officer, has a development update on Metroid Prime 4 for Nintendo Switch. Please take a look. Oh my God. 2022. That is just the fucking worst. What was in the game? Like, what could possibly make you say, you know, all that money we spent, all that time, all that money, you know, all those fans that really, really wanted Metroid Prime 4 and have been waiting like 15 plus years? Like, how long? Let's see. How long was it since Metroid 3? How long has it been? Metroid 3 release date. August 27, 2007. It's been over 10 years. It's going to be 15 years, at least, until 2022, at the earliest, is what they're saying. What fucking happened? Like, who dropped the ball on this? Like, what the fuck? How do you even? Like, did they just like accidentally create Banjo-Kazooie? And then like they thought maybe nobody will notice. We're just gonna make a Banjo-Kazooie game and call it Metroid 4. And everybody on the team was like, "Sir, are you okay? Are you sure this is it?" And he's like, "I'm the fucking boss. I'm Shinji Yamamoto or whatever, or whoever the fuck it is. I'll do whatever I want. We're making this Metroid 4 game, but it's called Banjo-Kazooie Metroid 4." What the fuck? Like, what happened? Was it racist somehow? Like, was the story just like, was there just, what? How do you scrap? What the fuck do you say that makes you, what is the game that makes you say, I am going to disappoint all the fans, I'm going to throw away all the money and waste all the people who's worked on this time and just say, fuck it, we're starting over? What could possibly make it? Is there like a fucking, is Lawrence Fishburne's daughter's like fucking sex tape in this game somehow? And it's just that we just took that and made it virtual, and we just created the game and called it Metroid 4. What do you even, like, is it, I mean, what is it? Could it possibly be that they just dropped the ball totally and there's like nothing worthwhile about playing it? Like they just have been slacking. Like somebody was like, okay, you're gonna write Metroid 4, we're gonna get it going, huh? And then they all said, yup. And then one team was like, I thought you said you were gonna do Metroid 4. And the other team was like, I thought you said you were gonna do Metroid 4. And they're like, guys, we're supposed to release like next month. How have you not talked about it? It's like, well, we thought we were making another Banjo-Kazooie game. we thought that it was covered, but Metroid 4, it could also just be, I guess, right? I suppose that there is an off chance that Japanese video game publisher Nintendo is just unwilling to settle for a subpar game. I guess that's possible, but for all of the cons of this and this moment, like that, they would have to be their scruples would just have to be fucking unwavering, because it's just madness. It's madness. When was Metroid? When original release date for Metroid 4, Metroid Prime 4, announced on June 13, 2017. Wow, what? Okay, so they announced this like a year and a half ago. Let's see, including the developer working on the game, guide by Tom Ori. This is just from like a month and a half ago. We've rounded up all the details on Metroid Prime 4. Metroid Prime 4 is real, and it's coming to the Switch. Everything we know. With Metroid Prime announced back in 2017, there's speculated the title could launch as early as 2018, but now we're in 2019. With the massive shift in development, it's unclear when Metroid Prime 4 as the first trailer. It's nothing, blah, 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 blah. Oh, my God, man. Yeah, Yeah, the more I'm reading about it, the more I'm just like, I think somebody might have just said they promised, they overpromised. They did not have enough fucking time to create this Metroid game, is my guess. So, well, it's funnier to imagine that, you know, there's like at the end of every level, like, and tied into and in the middle and beginning of every level, there's just like a bunch of bestiality or something. Like something just heinously not okay. Like just like she's just the whole time she's yelling racial slurs and doing it in sign language at the same time on every level. Like throughout the level, and then somebody was like, "Wait a second, maybe we should re-release date this." So stupid, super stupid. That's the stupidest. But what do you want from me? That's why you're listening. Anyways, okay, let's move on. Let's get to the commercial, shall we? Our improvised commercial. Let's do it for Metroid 4. Let's do it for Metroid 4. The release. Let's see what we know about it. Okay. With the new development team by Kensuke Tanabe, the longtime producer of the Prime series, in January of 2019, it's on. What's on? Metroid 4. And what's it on? Nothing yet. In fact, it's not going to be on anything for at least 3 years. 2022, Metroid 4, with all of the features you've been looking for, like availability on a Nintendo Switch, and also the ability to play the actual game, Metroid 4. What more can we say? What more is there to say about a game where hardly anything was released and now has been pushed back by 3 fucking years? Metroid 4, the 4th in the Metroid Prime trilogy. Metroid, a game going back over 20 years that people have been waiting for. The number 4 game. The 4th in the series, the most awaited, highly anticipated game on the Nintendo Switch since Mario Odyssey. That's right, you're gonna have to keep fucking waiting. So go ahead, watch some paint dry. Maybe get your nails done. Also, read a book perhaps. And wait for another 3 years before you see Metroid 4, The Awakening. Oh boy, what a fucking shit show that must be. Can you imagine the PR? Like, just how shitty that holds. Just how, wow. What happened? There's got to be a story there. I wish I knew. I wish I had an inside informant about what was really going on, but it is what it is. Anyways, thanks so much for listening to the podcast, everybody. I deeply appreciate it. Let's see. What do we want to say? I don't know. If you're enjoying the podcast, please let me know at Brent Mukai, BrentMukai, across all platforms. So Brent Mukai, yeah. Hit me up. Let me know what you like, what you dislike, what's going on with you. Give me some insights. And dude, that's the back and forth talking and being able to talk to people is the biggest reason I do this podcast, so I appreciate that. Also, if you have not already, I would so appreciate a rating of the podcast. You have no idea how much that helps out the podcast get seen and how much credibility it lends to the podcast. So thank you for just listening. If you do have a couple minutes out of your busy day, which I'm sure is busy, if it's not impossible, I would love you to go ahead and give me a rating on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever it is that you're listening to this. Thank you again, everyone, for listening. This is Brent Mukai, voice actor, improv trainer, entertainer. Peace out, mofo.